Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is my first round in the newly buffed Gunner Gundam. This was a very much needed overhaul. Gunner Gundam was kind of always bad in GBO2. In GBO1 it was incredible. It had a very strong, very long range, stunning sniper rifle that charged very quickly. And yeah, here it had a few of those qualities. It stuns uncharged. It can hit fairly hard and it can pierce, but I don't think there's very many suits in GBO1 that can really hang with one primary weapon. Not anymore, definitely, and Gunner Gundam couldn't really do it even from the very beginning. So, yeah, they have upped the power of the rifle a little bit. They've given the level 3 and 4, this is the 4, some extra slots, and it now has both a rapid and a Garabi subweapon, both of which are pretty powerful. This was a rough start. We kind of got swarmed by the enemy, and I was engaging from way too close. And so, yeah, I'm going to get surrounded and killed right here. I lasted longer than I expected, honestly, but since it is the level 4, I used the heavy armor part, which gives plus 10 in all 3 defense slots, and melee overtuning on top of that. So, like, I forget how much damage reduction you get from melee attacks above at maximum level on that, but it's pretty decent. I probably have mentioned this before, but I make the specification of, I specify damage resistance or reduction for the overtune defense parts because it is not figured into the usual, and that was just luck, the usual overtuning or the usual defense limit. Like, if you're not using one of the new armor parts, and man, I was just starting to get into a groove with sniping there and got, bombarded to death. But if you're not using the new parts that up the limit, you are limited to 50 defense, which is 50%, 50% defense against any of the 3 attack types. But the overtuning parts and a few other parts, like I want to say the Psycho package, I believe, and a few others, are figured outside of that. So, you can have 50 defense plus another 5% or whatever it is reduction to the overall damage that the enemies can do to you. So, yeah, it's if you have enough slots, it is not bad to stack those. I hope I'm right about all this. As always, corrections are more than welcome because I don't want to be giving out misinformation. But that is how I understand it to work, and I, like I said, could be wrong. But yeah, as you can see, this thing is doing some really good damage. And it also, in the last attempt to bring it up to speed, they gave it a sensor pulse that I believe it's one of the ones that does not reveal the position of any enemies. Might reveal stealthed enemies, but basically it is a buff cleanse or a debuff cleanse against enemies that use the man, that was a good Garabi shot. That use the spotting radar, like the Isaac and things like that. That will remove that from yourself and I believe your teammates. Again, I may be confusing that with another sub-weapon, but I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure that's what that does. But, which is, of the 3 kinds of pulse weapons, the radar pulse, the kind of visor type that the metal spider has and all those, that is probably the least useful of the 3, but it still has its uses. Not here where there are no EWAC suits on the field, but yeah, it's not bad to have in some circumstances. The fact that that isn't what they were relying on to fix the Gunner Gundam anymore is definitely very nice. Because, yeah, it really was not enough to do that. Yeah, I was really happy I managed to keep that person in the discharge beam the whole time. Just to give the explanation again, in case you haven't caught it in previous videos, the term Garabi was created by Japanese players of the Gundam Versus series, and it is almost literally barf beam because it just pours out continuous damage until it stops firing. And yeah, I sent for help here. It was too late already, but yeah, everybody moving in on me, including somebody with fake beacon, and just yeah, like the entire team was hanging back and trying to fight from somewhere else. I think, but just yeah, just like seeing, my whole team was alive, and I was the only blue dot on my radar with a just lovely bouquet of red dots around me, and that is always frustrating, even if you would put yourself out in the middle of nowhere to get killed, which I sort of did. So, no harm, no foul, and not as frustrating as it could have been. So, I mean, I've been playing Elden Ring Night Rain all week, so not much is more frustrating than that at the moment. I like it, but it's hard. I'm glad I'm glad they patched it already to add an extra life if you're doing single player because you need it. But yeah, like I said, Gunner feels good. I just this is there weren't any many if any suits when Gunner Gundam joined the game that had this particular setup. So it would not have been intuitive to give it a weapon suite like this when it was created. But I'm awfully glad they got around to it because yeah, that was needed, and it is going to be a lot more effective now. So about 90 seconds left. We've got a decent lead. Certainly could still lose from here, but getting a little bit harder. And yeah, just managed to fend off the enemies that were pushing towards our base, and now yeah, we just have to stay alive and do damage where we can, which I'm working on. I did not hit anything. I think I hit some kind of obstacle, might have been the edge of the building between me and my ally even. So good news is that did not really, do any harm. Did 3,200 damage to the Bull G, which the Bull G, despite being a general, is actually like one of my biggest foils through this. And one of the reasons for that is if my aim is not perfect, it will hit the shoulder shields, which have been buffed recently. I think they may have been part of the November package, but they have been given stun reduction. And to be honest, the Gunner Gundam's hitting its shields is probably the first time I've seen that be effective. It will stop the instant stun from tagging its shields with the rifle. If you hit enough of the discharge weapon, it will work. But yeah, just right there, I probably would have been able to stay alive a little longer if I had hit the body instead of the shield, because it just kept going. Of course, there was a Gyaradoga Psychomute test type aiming at me, so maybe I wouldn't have. Either way, round's done, and we won it, so I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, the damage and assist numbers are pretty good too, as I recall. I'm just doing this one in advance for Friday on Wednesday night. Yep, 107,570 damage, 990 assist. And yeah, I should have praised the full armor 7th, because 3 and 4, but yeah, a lot of damage, so I'll take that. Yeah, that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We will be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later. Okay, yeah, so the specifics, it got the Gunner Gundam at level 3, got extra close range, mid range, and long range slots, one of each. It went from 6, 12, 18 to 7, 13, 19. The upper level got some assistance too. So yeah, just I don't remember what the slots are, but I know I haven't hangered it to get the extras yet, so I could probably build this yet a little better. It had a ranged strength of 90 with and that's before the extra 5% on the ranged enhanced part that costs a few hit points and a little bit of melee damage, which is yeah, is another one that happens outside the ordinary limits of your attack stats. So, but yeah, the rapid and discharge rifle modes are new, and they also upped the damage of the standard rifle by 100 points. So that should, presumably add a fair amount of damage to the charged shot as well. Okay, so just to yeah, I'm going to try not to just ramble about the full stat blocks since there's like 4 levels of it to go through, but yeah, at 400 it was about 4% down from the average win rate for supports. 49.7 is the average at 400. It was at 45.6. Looking, the worst of the lot was the level 4, which had a win rate of 42.0 against the average at 550 for sports of 50.7%. Rival win rate was also worst at 550. 48.2 is the average. 31.8 is what the gunner was managing. And yeah, it was the damage dealt on average for support 72,297. And for the level 4 Gunner Gundam, 56,943 was the average. So I just about doubled that. So that's pretty nice. Like a lot of other things, it was actually seriously down on MS loss compared to the average, presumably because it was hanging far enough back that it was, not getting targeted a lot, but also not contributing enough. So that is hopefully improved. But yeah, if you played GBO1 and you miss how good the Gunner Gundam was in that, it's worth trying again.